In this video we are going to continue to set up our further breakdown poses for our karate fighter. Okay, so I've just added a few extra poses until 119 where the karate fighter is starting to get his defense from the estuprado and esquiva, and what we're gonna have now, I'm just gonna press play, we're gonna check it out together. Alright, so he's getting ready, Uramawa Shigeri, and then defense. Great. So it's even more exciting once we go more poses and we see how the action is going through. So what we're gonna add now, the next pose is gonna be between 19 and 26. So this pose is not planned in the storyboard and the video reference, because we actually, if we check into the timeline, on 119, for example, till 126 on the karate fighter, there's nothing really exciting happening. So what we're gonna do now is set up extra pose to give more action, otherwise the audience is gonna get bored. So on 122, we're just gonna set up a pose that we think is the right one. So we're just gonna shift the weight basically on the karate. So selecting our leg control and knee control, we see that this movement is even happening really quickly. So the karate is not gonna even have time to lose his balance while he's moving, because now we are just exaggerating the pose, but this kind of movement is gonna happen really quickly. So in a matter of 2 or 3 frames. Okay, and we have to make sure that obviously there is a logical movement in the karate, and we're going to fix the hip control as well, and with the knee control and the leg control selected, we're going to set up this next pose. Alright, so we can see that something is happening, and the karate fighter is really acting really stylish and professional for his art, and is having this kind of a sneaky movement to shift on the other side of the floor. So we shift this foot, and okay, so now we check what's going on. I think a little bit more earlier, and we put it up like this, and this knee and the ankle gonna be a little bit rotated, and don't lose the control of the knee. So this knee is hiding behind the leg, and we're gonna grab our knee control, we're gonna push it out, and we see the sneaky movement. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is to set up this movement in this way. So in order that the trunk is gonna be parallel to the movement, and I'm just gonna, as I said before, clean up the pose, because we might find any problem after. So I prefer to start from scratch if I have to set up a new pose, as well as this one here, and going to rotate it like that. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we're going to move it, and some translation is not that bad. So we're going to rotate the center of gravity and put it down. So the hip, and we shift a little bit more the torso like that, and a little bit more further. So we're gonna zero out the values of the head and the neck, so the neck is not gonna be that distorted, and later on we're gonna see how the character is going to shifting his weight and looking at the card as well. So looking at the top view, we can see that the card is I think slightly losing his balance. So we're gonna fix that by rotating the torso. So we're just gonna rotate that. Alright, okay. So just gonna load down this part as well. So I think it's getting shape slowly. Okay. So checking on top view, and obviously we don't want some extra frames that we planned. So we're just gonna delete these extra poses that by mistake we've added. Okay, so we see that the action is going to a little bit more in the back and the foot as well. Okay, so I think it's good now. It's good to go. Perfect. Alright, so what we're gonna do now is step on the next pose, which is between 126 and 142. But what we're going to do now is check maybe 133 is fine, or 35. Okay, we see that the character is lifting his leg to shift his weight and get back in the front, but in this case our character is going to backward. So on 135 we go here. Okay, so we set up our next pose, and we grab our leg control, and in this case our knee control as well. Okay, so we make sure that the leg is not broken. Alright, we put in front of the leg. Perfect, and we just lift it up like that. I think we're gonna lift it up the center of gravity as well. We're going to rotate it like that and shift it in this way. Obviously this knee has to be in front of this other leg, and we keep rotating our ankle. So we rotate the leg like that and we lift it up. Okay, so we might lower it down a little bit. We'll see where it's gonna end up. Okay, so a little bit more like that. And obviously make sure that the character is not off balance. Well, we see some problem here, so we need to fix it. So we zero out the rotations, and I think this rotation is fine, and this rotation is gonna be fixed as well. So okay, so we see that the things change when you zero out the controllers. Is gonna give us the chance to make a more clean pose, even if at the moment you find out this kind of problem. So the controllers are a bit offset, but you don't need to worry about that, because while you zero out, you will see the benefit once you're gonna smooth out the curves, and I think even when you're going to set up the curves into linear. Okay, alright, so gonna zero out like that. We're going to pull our trunk a little bit more further, and we shift it. So I think the leg is gonna be more on the knee, a little bit more offset, and rotate the foot. So we rotate it. Okay. And in the next lesson, we're just gonna keep working on posing the breakdowns of our karate fighter.